Peter and the Blue Witch Baby. Peter and the Blue Witch Baby. That's Robert D. Souci and Alexi Natchev. And, because we don't have the dust jacket for this one, but I always remember that he's illustrated a lot of the books that we read. And, of course, we read so many Robert D. Souci books. And so I'm going to have to give it a little bit of a think about the illustrations, and you want to read this, right? The double. It's not really a double, but that baby is so big that it can't fit on the cover. So it's like gigantic hand, gigantic foot. Okay, so long, long ago, there was a handsome young czar named Peter. He ruled wisely, and his kingdom prospered, but he was lonely and longed to marry. Many young women came to present themselves to Peter, but none captured his heart. One day, Molnya, a lovely raven-haired woman, came to see the Tsar. Peter liked her wit and charm, but he was chilled by the hungry way she looked at him, like a snake creeping up on a bird. That's kind of a look that I don't know if I would want to see. Alas, fair lady, he said, but not you, but someone as yet unknown to me will claim my heart. Fair enough. But things get tricky. At his words, Molnya let out a deafening screech. Now, this is really good that you have read this after you read Precious and the Boo Hag, because wait until you see the way that Alexi Natchev has illustrated Molnya getting angry. Okay, wait. Let me read it to you first, and then you'll see the picture. The astonished Tsar and his court watched as her eyes became huge and owlish. I mean, that actually wouldn't be that bad if you had owl eyes, because they're gorgeous. But let me just say this. Okay, the astonished Tsar and his court watched as her eyes became huge and owlish. Her tongue, forked like a snake's, flickered over her black metal teeth, for she was the witch of the wickedest sort. And we already know who has metal teeth. Iron teeth, Baba Yaga. Now, let me just show it to you. She pointed, oh no, I gotta read one more paragraph, hold on. Pointing a crooked finger at the Tsar, she cried, "You will regret turning me away. When you find your hoped-for bride, your ruin will be at hand." And then she spun round and round so fast, she became a dark howling wind and flew from the throne room. You need to see it. There's just something I want to show you to back up. So here she's tying her scarf. Now I have a scarf like that, and that's a really good looking scarf. I mean, that's a good looking scarf. She's tying it around her head. Here she goes. Look at her. What? What? There's Peter and his court all standing around saying, what? Toads and snakes flying everywhere. Oh, that's a lizard. Toads and snakes. And forked tongue, metal teeth. Owls. She does have red eyes. So that's not really owl-like owl. I guess it's owlish. I don't know what that means. I guess that. And then she's got claws. Very bad. We can't even see her legs. It just looks like a wind. That's kind of like the Snow Wife, right? Remember when the Snow Wife leaves and she's got no legs? She's got a mist. She trails to mist. All right. Now we have to get into the story, okay? So, well, that's part of the story, but this is the story. So, for a time, the fearful Tsar gave up his search for a bride. Good, that's reasonable. But he forgot the witch's curse when he saw a painting of a golden-haired beauty. Instantly, she knew she was the woman he wanted to marry. How do you know that? By looking at a picture? I don't know. Anyway, when he asked who she was, his chamberlain said, "That is the little sister of the sun. She lives in a cloud castle to the east across the plains, beyond the forest, behind the mountains. It is a long and dangerous journey." "Even so," said Peter stoutly, "I will go and ask for her hand in marriage, and I will give her the 3 greatest marvels I own." These were a pebble, a seed, and a blue glass bead. And all of them were magic. Now that's just like Baba Yaga and the Black Geese. Remember, she has, when they have to defeat her, they need a walnut, yes, and a shell, yes, and a stone. So he's got a pebble, which is another one for saying stone, a seed, walnut is a seed, and a blue glass bead. That's the only difference, right? The morning Peter was, you've already seen it, haven't you? The morning Peter was to set out, an old woman came to the doors of the palace carrying a baby. Be merciful, O mighty Tsar, the woman pleaded. Take this orphan into your household. Peter's heart melted when he saw the pretty little girl. But when she smiled, her teeth were black as an iron cooking pot. First of all, a baby that little shouldn't even have teeth. You know how they are. All you people are experts with babies because some of you have babies in your house or have seen babies around town and they don't have any teeth. And if you see a baby with black iron teeth, Peter turned to question the old woman, but she was gone. Of course she's gone. Look at her. Why did he not know? Why did he not see this? Eager to be on his way, the tender-hearted Tsar gave the baby into the care of his servants. Riding his finest horse, he set out to find the cloud castle of the little sister of the sun. Now, he's not even thinking. He's just like, take this baby. Thank you very much. I'm going to go and look for this little sister of the sun. Goodbye. Peter rode until he came to an immense empty plain where a giant sat forlornly. Peter reined in his horse and asked, how far is it to the little sister, to the cloud castle of the little sister of the sun? It is across the plains, the giant answered, sighing. Why are you so sad? Asked Peter. I am water bringer, answered the giant. My life work is to dig the channels for the rivers. But the springs that feed the rivers here have gone dry, so I must die. Kind-hearted Peter took the blue bead from his pouch. He thought to himself, I still have 2 gifts for the little sister of the sun, he told himself. And when he threw down the bead, a spring gushed forth. Waterbringer roared his thanks and at once began to dig the course for a new river. Yay! So as long as this giant has purpose, then the giant will continue to live. And that giant's purpose is to make new rivers. But he isn't able to unless he has water. And so one of his magical things creates water or makes a spring happen wherever you throw it down. Let's see, he's got 2 more. He's got the pebble and he's got the seed. So it's going to be okay. Peter rode until he came to a vast forest. There he met a second sad-faced giant, sitting among the trees. All the leaves were brown and brittle. How far to the cloud castle of the little sister of the sun's little sister? Peter asked. It is beyond the forest, answered the sorrowful giant. We're going to learn so many words for sad. Forlorn, sorrowful. Why are you so unhappy? Asked Peter. I am forest keeper, said the giant, but my forest is dying, and I must die with it. Peter knew that if he used the magic seed, he would have only one wonder to give to the little sister of the sun. Still, he took it from his pouch and he threw it down. Instantly, there sprouted a new forest of towering, healthy trees. Thank you, boomed Forest Keeper. He began watering and caring for the trees as a gardener tends his flowers, which makes sense because, that giant is so tall that, look, his shoulders reach the clouds. Only one thing left. On and on Peter rode. At last he reached a chain of once mighty mountains, now crumbling into dust. Towering above them was a third giant. How far am I from the cloud castle of the little sister of the sun? Peter asked. On the other side of the mountains you will find only empty sky, said the giant. There hangs the cloud castle. Peter thanked him and then asked, Why are you so sad? I am mountain stacker, answered the giant. I pile up mountains to wall off the world from the emptiness beyond, but I have no more mountains to stack up. When they are gone to dust, I will die. Though it pained him to use his last gift, Peter threw down his magic pebble. Then there arose range upon range of mountains, and with a shout of thanks, Mountain Stacker began rebuilding the walls of the earth. There's a couple things in this book. For one thing, in the book, they think the earth is flat. There's that. And then in the other thing about this book is that it is different than the Black Geese book, and even from Anna and the Seven Swans, because he is using the magic when he's going to see someplace, not when he's running away. So what I'm hoping is that there's going to be help provided, because this is coming. Okay. Atop the mountain wall, Peter saw endless blue sky. Far off floated the cloud castle. Below him, a bridge of mist stretched to the open gates. Though the bridge looked fragile, Peter spurred on his horse and rode across it. Waiting in the courtyard was the little sister of the sun. She was more beautiful than her painting, with her hair like spun gold and eyes as blue as mountain lakes. I guess the mountain lakes are super blue because they reflect the sky. I'll have to think about that. Peter dropped to his knees. I've come to ask your hand in marriage, he said, but I no longer have the marvels I meant to give you. Your company is gift, said the sun's little sister, smiling. I have few visitors in this lonely place. As for marriage, who can say? We must get to know each other first. I think the sun's little sister's probably really pretty smart. She's not saying that she's going to get married just because she saw a painting or because there's marvels coming to her as presents. Marvels. She's just going to say, let's get to know each other and we'll chit-chat and see if we're friends. Oh, this is where the trouble happens. Okay. Then she showed him all the wonders of her castle. And it seemed to Peter, as they talked and laughed together, that she had taken a liking to him, and he had never felt so happy. And then I am reminded about what this one said before she left. She said, you will regret turning me away. When you find your hoped-for bride, your ruin will be at hand. Ruin is coming. They climbed to the topmost tower. There, the sun's little sister showed him a round window. Through this, she said, you can see any place in the world. Now, I really feel like that, if you ever go to a castle and you look through the round window, you would really feel like that's why they made that round window, so that you could see any place in the world. I mean, when you do that, you can call me up, and when you're at that castle, and you can tell me yes or no. Or maybe even at the top of the Washington Monument. That might be a place you could check. Okay. So, anxious to know how things were at home, Peter asked to see his palace. He was shocked to see that it was in ruins. The roof was gone. The walls were broken and crumbling. I must return at once, he cried. Then the little sister of the sun begged, be careful, dear Peter, for my heart goes with you. I think they're friends now. Away Peter rode, along the bridge of mist, over the mountains, through the forest, across the plains. The giants he had helped called out greetings to him, but he did not pause. When Peter reached his ruined palace, he heard a ringing sound, cling, clang. And you can see those words right there, clang, clang. They've got exclamations after each point, exclamation points after each one, all uppercase. Cling, clang. As though a great metal hammer were striking a huge anvil. We know what those are. Dismounting, he crept up to the wall and peeped through a hole. Inside sat a huge baby girl, her skin as blue as the sky, sucking her thumb. Did you see it? Suddenly, she pulled her thumb out of her mouth. She pulled out her thumb and sniffed the air. I love that so much. Just imagine that a baby is sucking her thumb. She pulls it out of her mouth and she sniffs the air. What is she sniffing for? Maybe a czar? Time to eat. Her mouth opened and Peter saw rows of sharp black iron teeth. The baby snapped her teeth together. Clang, clang. With a roar, she stood up, towering head and shoulders above the crumbling wall. She grabbed for Peter, but he scrambled through a tiny opening into a cupboard. He heard the witch baby's hands scrabbling at the wall that protected him. You have to know that scrabbling is a very scary thing to hear, especially if you know that the scrabbling is a giant baby hands. Scrabbling like that. Oh, that's terrible. Scrabbling, scrabbling. Okay. Then a little gray mouse popped out of a crack in the wall. Peter, said the mouse, in the corner is a dulcimer. Play a lullaby on it. So the mouse is talking. The mouse knows Peter's name, and there's a dulcimer. Peter took the dusty instrument and began to play. The witch baby paused to listen. She put her thumb in her mouth, and her eyes began to close. Keep playing, warned the mouse, or she will wake up. What has happened? Asked Peter, playing all the while. That monster is the witch Molnia. You yourself brought her into the palace disguised as a little baby. She grew like a weed, and with her terrible teeth, she gobbled up everything, except for the mouse and the dulcimer. What am I to do? Peter wondered. I cannot play forever. I will never see the sun's little sister. I think his problems are bigger than seeing the sun's little sister. That's a big problem. I will play while you escape. Be quick, said the mouse. Sorry, Duncan. So I always wonder at this point, there's a lot of things in this book that I wonder about, but I just wonder why the mouse didn't play from the beginning. Maybe she was taking a break. And when the baby was eating different parts of the palace. But they did say that the dulcimer was dusty. Maybe it gets dusty every time and new rocks fall on everywhere. I mean, that's a big mess. So that should have a lot of dust. I'm always curious about that particular part. And maybe the mouse doesn't get to eat a lot or something, runs out of energy because right away the mouse stops playing the dulcimer. And I know this because of this. Whoops. Now that baby is a problem. I mean, it's not even a baby. It just looks like a baby. Like a giant baby. Peter thanked the gray mouse and slipped away. Just as he swung into his saddle, the witch baby woke up. Oh, how she gnashed her teeth. Clang, 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 clang. She swelled up bigger and bigger until she was half again as high as the palace. Then she jumped up and down so that the last walls of the palace fell to rubble around her, and she charged after Peter. The Tsar heard a clamor. Cling, clang! Behind him, he looked back, and there was the huge witch baby. Her eyes flashed, and her teeth rang. Cling, clang. As she snapped her jaws, she ran with long strides, faster than Peter's horse could gallop. She would soon catch him, though Peter was carried faster than the wind across the plains. That poor horse. That horse has been riding for days. But when she was so close that his ears were ringing with the sound of her teeth clang clang, Waterbringer saw them. Quickly, the giant changed the course of a river, so that the flood ran between Peter and the witch baby, and instantly the water gathered into a deep, broad lake. Now, you already know what's going to happen, right? Because in the Black Geese, they drink that water up. The witch baby had to swim, and it took her a long time to get across. Oh, wait a minute. That witch doesn't even drink the water. She just swims across it. She must be a baby that can do pretty much anything. Okay. Peter raced ahead, never looking back. His only thought was to reach the cloud castle of the little sister of the sun. You know, there's another thing that I just remembered that I'm interested with this book, and that is, if you have trouble chasing you, why are you bringing that trouble with you to your very good friend, the little sister of the sun? It's a question. All too soon, the witch baby splashed out of the lake and came thundering after Peter. Closer and closer she came until she was right behind him. Peter could hear her snapping teeth clang clang almost at his back. She would have caught him, but Peter was near the forest. Though it grieved him, Forest Keeper pulled up armfuls of great oaks and hurled them in front of the witch baby. Then the monster had to gnaw through the pile with her iron teeth. Oh, that really hurt that giant's feelings. And yet Peter keeps going, bringing trouble with him. Peter's horse galloped ahead, but soon he heard the dreadful sound clang, clang, right behind him. He turned and saw that the witch baby was almost upon him. Cling, clang, cling, clang, went her teeth as she snapped at him. One bite took away a piece of his horse's tail. With the next bite, she would finish Peter. Luckily, Peter had reached the mountains. Grateful Mountain Stacker tore up the biggest mountain he could find and flung it down in front of the witch baby, and another on top of that. And then she had to tear and chew her way through them while Peter reached the edge of the world. Can you see that, witch baby? Okay. Now I have to read this page to you like this because a lot happens in it before you can see the illustration. So, and I want you to know that the illustration is you're going to be happy about it. Okay. There he saw the cloud castle with its bridge of mist. Now, I feel like Peter should say, "Hey, little sister of the sun, I've got some trouble right behind me. What should I do? Should I come into your house?" And she might say, "No, that wouldn't be a good idea. Thanks. I don't really want a blue witch baby at my house. Goodbye." Okay. There he saw the cloud castle with its bridge of mist. The little sister of the sun urged him, "Faster, dear Peter." Oh, so she's saying, come on. Maybe she can get away from him. I mean, maybe he can get away from her. Sorry. The witch baby raged after him. Nearer she came, clang, and nearer, clang. Peter was racing across the bridge now. Behind him came the witch baby, cling, clang. Her teeth rang greedily. Then 3 things happened at once. So this is where we really need to count. Peter hurtled through the gates into the castle courtyard. I don't know if that's the number 1. We'll find out. Let's put a seed planter here. Then the sun's little sister called out, "Now, dear brother!" And the sun, who had been hiding behind a cloud, blazed forth and instantly dried up the bridge of mist. The witch baby, still gnashing her iron teeth, cling clang, tumbled down and down, and soon the dreadful clanging became faint and then faded altogether into the bottomless blue sky. That is the 3. Okay, ready? The first one is Peter got through the gates. I really feel like the first one should be that the witch baby is on the bridge, but that's okay. So here we go. Number 1 gets to the other side. Number 2, the sun, which is her brother, blazes forth and melts away the mist, the bridge of mist. The baby, who's halfway across the bridge, falls. That's number 3. Down and down and down. Because remember, in this book, the earth is flat. So when you fall off the edge, bingo, boingo, trouble. And there they show the baby falling, which of course we know is not a baby. Okay, Peter and the little sister of the sun were soon married. The little gray mouse played the dulcimer at their wedding. Thank you, mouse. With the help of the 3 giants, they rebuilt Peter's ruined palace. Then the Tsar and the Tsarina spent half their days at Peter's court, ruling wisely, and half their days in the cloud castle, where the sun shone brightly upon their happiness. I always like to ask children what they think about that sun's expression. Like, what do you think? Is it fierce? Is it angry? Is it filled with love and warmth? I'm interested. Yeah. So there you go. Ta-da!